everyone, and welcome to another episode of Taco Matta Tuesday, the show where we eat healthy, delicious tacos and have conversations about life. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not that does. This is something that hits home for me as I have a lot of incredible things that are happening for me in life, and I'm in a transitional phase. And the thing that's holding me back right now is not the woman that I've become, but the person that I doubt that I'm not, and the things that I doubt that I'm incapable of. And so in celebration of stepping out of that phase and stepping out of that mindset that's no longer serving me, I wanted to take you guys along for the ride and make an episode this week all about golden nuggets as it relates to mindset shifts for success. So I'm really excited to bring you through this episode. But first, before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about the taco of the week. I am holding on to the last little bit of summer. In addition, I have just been super thrilled on the Greek Mediterranean train and trying to incorporate a lot more vegetables into my diet now that I am starting to take a little bit of time off of sugar and carbs because I'm not racing and I'm not training nearly as hard during this maintenance season is what we'll call it. So with that being said, you guys are getting the lovely and fabulous Greek tacos. If you like cucumber, chickpeas, roasted red peppers, friend, you need to go to the show notes and check out the recipe card for this week because I promise this is an easy, healthy, delicious taco that is going to spice up your recipes and eating is what we'll call it, your schedule of eating for this week. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and jump on in to the episode. So, like I mentioned, there are a lot of things happening in my life right now, all of them for the best. Some of them are absolutely terrifying while being exciting all at the same time. And I'll share a couple of those things as far as what's going on behind the scenes and just things that I have come to accept and have really buckled down on in order to seek success in this next chapter of my life, knowing that nothing is going to be perfect and nothing's going to be linear and there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. But with these simple mindset shifts that I can hold on to, I know that I can make it to the other side stronger than ever and really find that success that I'm destined for. So a couple of things for you guys. The first thing, and I'll actually start off with a story, is this idea that the universe will always bring you what you need. I've talked about this a lot, and I talk a lot about the universe, and whatever it is that you believe in is amazing, a higher power of some sort. Mine just happens to be the universe in the season of life. But I truly believe that there's something that is a higher power at work for us that always has our back. And it doesn't always work in the way that you want, but it will always work in the way that you need to in order to step up and level up in your life. And so, to give you an example, I'm fairly excited to announce this. I haven't told a ton of people yet. I haven't told the social media world yet. But about it was in July? Yes, July. The applications for season 17 of American Ninja Warrior came out. And if you aren't familiar, I'm a 2-time American Ninja Warrior competitor. Haven't had the seasons that I've wanted to in relation to just the performance. I know that I'm more than capable of doing really well, and I just haven't done as well as I've wanted to the last 2 seasons that I've been on it. And I did a whole episode on making a tough decision around whether or not I choose to apply for the season. And after a lot of thinking and really weighing the options as far as what it is that I want to tell the story about at the end of this year, American Ninja Warrior wasn't something that was at the top of my list. And while I feel like I have a bitter taste in my mouth that I'd like to cleanse, or just like something that I just really want to prove to myself that I can, I know that there's so many other things happening for me right now in life that is going to consume my time in a better way and build me as a woman in a way that I'd prefer to than trying to go back and heal old wounds. And so I decided to not apply. And I know that that bums a lot of people out. And a lot of people were really shocked that I decided not to, because I have quite the story and quite the journey that I know if it was ever aired, people would be insanely impacted by it. But I came to the realization that I didn't need a television show and for them to air me in order to finally feel worthy of my story and how far I've come. Or better yet, to even share my journey and continue to make an impact in the way that I've wanted to make an impact. So ultimately, again, that was the reason why I decided to step away from that this year. But there was still something inside of me that was like, I want to challenge myself. I want to make myself uncomfortable. And if I can do that in the lens of ninja, because that is honestly like, that is the number one thing that has been added to my life in the last couple of years that has allowed for me to get really good at stepping into discomfort and living in that discomfort. And so I know that that's something that's still important to me and that I want to keep close to home. And so I reached out to a couple of connections and talked to them about me being on the testing side this year, of being on the camera side, essentially where I'm behind the scenes and I'm testing the obstacles and demoing the obstacles for all the athletes that are competing on the show. And I got accepted onto the team. And so in about a week and a half, I will be flying out to Vegas for 10 days to do just that. I will get to reverse my entire sleep schedule. It's going to be awesome. And work all through the night and just get on big obstacles and challenge myself. And that's really what it's all about for me. So I'm really excited to take on that opportunity. And so all of that being said, you know, while I'm so excited about the opportunity and the chance to really live out my why as to why I started Ninja in the first place and how it's created this insanely beastly human being that I am now, there are still a lot of doubts and fears and scares that I have in relation to going to do this. The first is I don't get to train, like, really at all in DECA. And when you are so passionate about something and you have some really steep goals for world championships at the end of the year, it's kind of hard to like mentally unplug from that and to be like, how do I not know that this week and a half isn't going to completely wreck me? And I would say even more important than that, because that's quite small and it's not bothering me that much at this point, but what if I was to go out there and get hurt? And then all of the work, all of the money, all the time and effort that I've spent training this season and being in the best shape of my life to go out there and actually do things that I'm really confident that I can go out and do. What if I mess it all up by getting hurt? And then I also think about the fact of like financials, and I'm not getting paid to go out there to do this, so I'm taking time unpaid to go out there. Just a lot of different things where I'm like, you know what? If I let these things consume me, it doesn't matter if I go out there. I'm not going to even enjoy it. And what I was able to tell myself, and it's still taking time to really accept this and buckle down on this, is that the universe will bring me exactly what I need. And I'm not going to spend time thinking about every other potential thing that could happen, like me getting hurt or something going wrong. Because if I do that, I'm robbing myself of the joy of the experience that I'm about to have. And I'm setting myself up for failure versus success. If I get hurt, the universe needed for me to get hurt, right? It needed for me to go through whatever that next chapter is going to be. And so therefore, I'm going to accept it and let it take me where it may. I can't sit here and worry about those things and live my life in fear, because here's also the other side of it. I'm a trained professional for the most part. I coach this sport and I get it. You could freaking step off the side of a sidewalk and get hurt, right? And I'll never ever get hurt in Ninja. That's just sometimes the way that it rolls. So to let something like that consume me is just such, it's just not fair. It's not fair whatsoever. And I have to imagine that there's a lot of you sitting on the other side of the microphone right now that probably feel the same way, that maybe you're not taking the leap of faith or allowing for yourself to be fully present or enjoy the experience because you are so worried about the what ifs. Instead of making those what ifs, oh my gosh, what if something incredible is on the other side of this? What if this is an opportunity for me to prove myself to myself in a way that I am more capable than I ever thought of? I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking of all the other useless crap that could come up. So again, all of that to say the universe will bring you what you need, so lean into it, accept it, and know that you will be capable of handling whatever it is that comes on the other side. The next thing is that different seasons of life have no balance. That is the next golden nugget for you, is that different seasons of life have no balance. I would like to say, after so many years of personal development and reading books and listening to so many podcasts, there's a handful of people out there that define success as having balance in their life. For me personally, each season of life calls for what I call a different cocktail. It's a different concoction of where my energy and efforts and time is spent. And there really is no balance. I'm not spending 30% of my time there and 30% of my time there. Like, there's no even cookie cutter in life. And I truly will die on that rock. I just don't believe that. And I think when you're able to accept that different seasons of life are going to call and pull you in different ways, then you're not trying to measure yourself off of success from a previous season. And you don't have to feel bad that you're not maybe spending as much time in that area of life that you were, because at that point, that was what was most important to you. And that's what that season called for. But now this new season, this new chapter is calling for something completely different. So how can you change your mindset around that? Give yourself some grace and some freedom to think outside of the box and think about, okay, what is important in this season of life? What is it that I actually want to conquer? How is life pulling me? And how do I need to listen? It's when we continue to resist that life continue to throw those bombs, be like, dude, turn the other way. You're going the wrong direction. Life is actually quite simple, you guys. If you just feel the resistance and listen and watch for the signs, it'll tell you quite clearly, and so will your gut. So again, to wrap all of that up, for those of you that are sitting there feeling like you are not successful in this current season of life that you're sitting in because it doesn't look like a different one, and you're feeling lost and stressed out because you have so many things pulling you different ways and you're just not sure what that looks like for you in this season, I'm inviting for you to give yourself that grace and realize that there's never going to be balance, and balance, and I'm putting that in like quotations, is going to look vastly different right now than maybe it did even a couple of weeks ago. So allow for yourself to have those learning and growth moments, and don't penalize yourself for that. That's the beauty of life, is just how it takes us through the ups and downs and turns and twerves and everywhere in between. So lean into it, enjoy it, get present, find love for it. Because this season of life right now is preparing you for the next one. So welcome it with open arms. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about in relation to golden nuggets for success is this idea that the best of the best become the best by getting great at the fundamentals, not necessarily always going the hardest. I was actually sitting down with a couple of fellow athletes recently, and we were having a heart-to-heart conversation on when to push and how often in your workouts you should be going to the well and fully selling out. And a lot of what we agreed on is that that shouldn't be happening every single day. In fact, when you look at some of the people, if you're a hybrid racer, if you look at some of the top people in the space, whether it's DECA or High Rocks or some other hybrid racing line of competition, they are really good at just the fundamental things. They're really good at doing the things that people don't want to do. They're not crushing themselves in every single workout. They're actually really good at knowing when to pull the plug and listen to their body and say, that's enough for today, right? They aren't stuck in this doubt and worry if that's enough. Well, I'm going to retract that statement. A lot of us still are. A lot of us are still in that. But there's such a fine difference between the people that step up that are newer to these type of sports and to these competition lines, because they feel like they have to go hard and sell out in everything. Otherwise, they don't see progress. It's the ability to stay consistent and have a goal and a purpose with each thing that you do that is actually going to allow for you to become the elitist. Hands down, I will say that's probably the biggest shift as an athlete that I've made this year, is not feeling like every workout is going to be the most important one. It's actually looking at the workouts that my trainer has scheduled for me, realizing that sometimes he's going to have a purpose and I'm going to follow that purpose, and sometimes it's open-ended. And I'm going to look at that and I'm going to say, okay, in this workout today, I know I can't crush everything. However, this is my focus right here, is when I walk away from this, I want to gain this piece of information, or I want to be able to celebrate XYZ. And that's going to be my focus. And that has helped me so much, and just being able to manage my energy and my efforts and not burn out every single day. When you are constantly going to the well and pushing your absolute hardest, you're gonna burn out. And the secret to success is not how hard you push, it's how long can you stay in the game. And how long you can stay in the game is as simple as consistent things, little steps moving forward. And that's it. So if you feel like you're in that season of life, or in that thought process of like, I feel like I'm gripping the bat so hard that I need to make these huge leaps and bounds and like crush myself every single day, again, giving you the invitation to cut that shit out because it's not necessary, and to actually look at what are the most important needle movers right now in relation to your goal. In addition, I would add that how can you get better at saying no to the things that are not those needle movers? I was actually listening to Nick Barrett this morning on the RMR training podcast, and he had a question asked of him, and one of his responses was simply around, I've gotten to where I'm at today, and the success that I've seen has simply become a thing because I've gotten really good at saying no to the things that aren't my needle movers, to the things that are not the most important to me as it relates to my goals. And for a lot of us that want to create an impact, that really believe that our purpose in life is to help other people, that becomes really freaking hard sometimes, because we all of a sudden become the yes man because it feels good to help others. But what feels even better is being able to say that you have boundaries on your time and you guard those hard, and where you spend your time, you're able to see that progress and growth long term, to then maybe in the future invite some of those other things that you want to impact or that you want to create impact on. So to recap, this is an opportunity to identify what those fundamental needle movers are right now in relation to your goal, understanding that you do not need to go so freaking hard that you're going to burn yourself out, and that we need to manage our efforts into more of a consistency, a pace that we can hold, in addition to being able to say no to the things that are consuming our time in ways that are not serving our energy and ability to actually give the energy and effort towards what's most important to us. And the last thing that I want to mention to you guys in relation to golden nuggets for success is that the only recognition that truly matters is your own. This is something that I am still working on to this day, especially because when I follow people on social media, I'm very particular about it. And I follow people that I'm chasing, people that I aspire to be, people that inspire me, uphold my morals and views, etc. And so when you follow a lot of incredible people in the space that you're passionate about, and you see them getting highlighted and interviewed and all of these things that you would really enjoy to have, it makes you feel like you were doing something wrong or that you aren't as good as them. And so if you are like me, someone that has seen recognition or has accepted as recognition as something that is important to them, it is absolutely vital that you check in on how you view yourself and rate your consistency in being able to celebrate yourself. I have quite a strong background in struggling with enoughness and worthiness. And in order to feel like I'm enough to people or just in this world, I have looked externally to outside sources to try and gain that validation. And what I've come to find, and what I've really worked on over the last year or so, is that the only real validation that matters is the one that I have of myself. When I look in the mirror and I am proud of the woman staring back at me and who she's become. This is much easier said than done, and take it from someone that's still walking that road. but I just need for you to wrap your mind around it, that the only recognition that matters is your own. And the only way that you can start to build that habit and make it something that is true to you, that feels good, is to celebrate yourself more. And to have a book of wins, whether it's something that's in your phone, something that you put pen to paper to, something that, for me, like my way that I celebrate myself, and I'm really proud of myself, is I'm a visual person. I love taking videos and pictures of certain things, of me doing cool shit, because it allows me to go back and watch those and be like, look at how amazing I am. I know that might sound vapid to some people or a little weird, but I've accepted it, right? Like, that is just something that I do that makes me feel good, for me to celebrate myself. So in the moments where maybe I'm feeling a little doubtful or I'm struggling to feel enough, I can go back to those things, whether it's things that I've written down in my notes on my phone or just certain videos, and be like, look at how strong you are. Look at how capable you are. Never forget that. That is you, and that is proof right there that you are more than enough. And so this is where I want to leave you today. Is success itself is not the key to happiness. Happiness is, in fact, the key to success. If you guys love what you are doing and you stay true to these golden nuggets that I've shared with you today, I can promise you success will come. Thank you guys so much for showing up for you today, and I hope that this episode truly resonated. If it has, please be sure to share this with friends and family that need to hear the message. And if you haven't already, rate and review the podcast. So excited for what's to come, and I'm sure there will be so many more lessons and stories to tell you. But until then, until next week, you guys, I hope you have a phenomenal week, and I will see you guys for the next one. See you then.